Hey everybody, today we are going to be talking about how to use the broad match modifier like an expert. And what I'm going to do is run you through a couple of examples of how I would set up a broad match modifier ad group, several ad groups, and we're going to go over specific examples so we can kind of round out all of the knowledge that we've acquired in this training course on keyword selection and match types. So we're going to start by going over setting up a several short tail ad groups using the broad match modifier and the negative keywords. And then we're going to go over how I would set up long tail keywords using granular ad groups, using negative keywords and the broad match modifier. So let's go ahead and draw our attention to my screen, and let's begin a new ad group here. So I'll click in here, come to ad groups, a new ad group. So in this particular example, this is going to be, we're going to go over 3 short tail examples and 3 long tail examples. So this is going to be men's boots. Okay. So let's pretend that this set of boots is brown, as we have, and that will give us the logic for our negative keywords, and we can use this same ad copy here. So this is going to be men's boots. And here's how you would use the broad match for this, which we've already gone over an example of. Men's boots, and I would even include in this one men's boots without the apostrophe. And, oops, there we go. So you see here we've got men's boots, men's brown boots. Default bid is going to be, we'll just go with the standard 150 that we've been using. And now, when I come into here in keywords, I'm going to add some negative keywords here. Okay, so this is going to be for this particular ad group. And here's how I would add ad group level keywords to this. So we can have campaign level negative keywords, which I'll go over with you in a second. But for this one, let's say that all of the boots we have in this category page are work boots. So we want to eliminate hiking boots, which I'll make that a broad match with the modifier, so that anything related to the word hiking, whether it be hike or not. And then in addition, let's say that these boots I don't have any steel toe boots. So I'm going to eliminate users searching for steel toe boots. And let's say that all of the boots in this category that I have available for sale are brown or some variation of brown. So I'm going to eliminate the word black. So you can see here I've got campaign level negative keywords, girls, ladies, women's. And for this ad group, I'm going to eliminate the keyword hiking and any variation of that word, steel toe, and black. And I'm going to save that. So now I've got my ad group here. Okay, men's boots. I've got my broad match modifiers set up. And I've got my ad group level negative keywords assigned to this ad group, which has these keywords in it. And I've got my campaign level, which is assigned to this men's vintage boots campaign. And all of them are right here. So all of the ad groups in this campaign will not trigger any ad if a variation of girls, ladies, women's, or women's is included in the query. And this ad group in particular will not trigger ads if any variation of the word hiking, steel toe, or black is in the keywords in the user search query. So let's go over one more short tail example for you guys. And this will be a little bit different than what we've been doing, so just to give you some variety. So in this ad group, I'm going to call this buy, men's boots. And I would change the headline to buy men's boots here. And let's say all of the boots are brown. I can even include the word brown in here so that I reduce clicks from unqualified users. So for instance, if this user is searching for black boots but did not specify that in their search query, I can make sure that I filter out clicks for users who are not interested in brown boots if that's all that I'm offering for sale. And I can get more descriptive here, which is what's really going to trigger clicks by standing out, and you're going to have a good description line and a great call to action, or giving the user a reason to click on your ad. And here we'll have buy men's boots, and we'll have buy men's boots with no apostrophe. We'll go with 150. Okay. And we can add our negative keywords in that you'll see, because I'm still building these ad groups out under this campaign. I spelled men's there. That the campaign level negative keywords are still associated with this ad group. And if I wanted to add additional negative keywords, which I would recommend to the ad group that this is specific for, let's say I'm sending traffic to the same ad group as men's boots, and I don't have any black boots. I don't have any steel toe boots. And let's say I don't have any suede boots. And these are not for hiking. They're work boots. So we'll click Save. Now we've got buy men's boots with all the broad match modifiers, which is going to allow these queries to trigger an ad, and the words can be in any order and can have additional words associated with the user's search query. However, buy, men's, and boots, or exact variants of those, must be in the user's search query. And in addition, if in that search query the word black or a variation of it, the word steel toe, or suede, or hiking, or girls, ladies, women's, or women's is in their search query, our ads will not trigger, so that we don't incur costs on clicks that are not going to convert. So basically this is a tool to allow you to filter out unqualified clicks before they have an opportunity to click on your ad. Now let's go over a third short tail example, just so that we're all very clear and on the same page. I want you to see me walk through several setups with different keywords so that you can see the logic. So we'll add another ad group here. And here the keyword will be best men's boots. And typically in Google's advertising policy, they do not allow you to use superlative language in your ad copy, and that would include keywords like best. So we could put this is something where you would need to submit it, and if Google rejects it, then you can change it, but you can always try to get superlative language in there. Sometimes I have actually snuck it through if this keyword that we're targeting includes that which the superlative word that we're putting in the ad. So if the keyword that we're targeting is best men's boots, I have been able to get best men's boots through. Not in this particular keyword, but in other situations I have. So this is how your best case scenario would look. So if we're offering work boots, best men's work boots, and the reason I would include work is, again, to filter out any clicks that are not qualified, because if for instance they're looking for fashion boots or hiking boots, then you don't want those clicks coming to a page full of work boots. So here you set this up as best men's boots. Best men's boots. $150. Save the ad group. And again, we would add our negative keywords here at the ad group level. So you have ad group level and campaign level. And we'll exclude the word vintage. We'll exclude the word hiking. If I don't have any black boots, I will, in this category as well, I will exclude the word black. I will exclude steel toe. And we'll leave it at that for now. And we'll have our negative keywords at this ad group level for best men's boots. And then we'll have our negative keywords at the campaign level, which is over here. So those are your short tail examples. Now let's go over a few long tail examples so you can see what it would look like in a situation where you have words like the and in the search query, and how to set up a broad match modifier in that particular scenario. So draw your attention back to my screen here, and we'll set up a new ad group. And we're going to call this one looking for the best men's work boots. And you can leave your headline like this, or you could change it to, if their search query includes looking, you could put find the best work boots, or something similar to that. And we could link them to a category page filled with all of the work boots. So let me show you a few different strategies for using the broad match modifier in this scenario. Let's put the keyword in here. Okay, so we obviously want to include a requirement for boots, requirement for work, and in the long tail, we can include best and men's. And you could, if you wanted to, depending on how targeted you want this to be, you could include a modifier here. Typically, unless you're going with very close variations, there's not necessarily a reason to include a requirement for and the, unless you really want just this keyword. You're trying to go with more of an exact match type approach, but using the broad match modifier, allowing these keywords to show up in any order with close exact variants. So that's one way to set this up. The other would be to just go ahead and require all of the keywords. But again, the way that I would do this, just in this particular scenario, unless this campaign was becoming very large and I would go back and adjust it maybe, but I would leave it like this for this one. So capture the looking and then best men's work boots, and then this will be a good long tail setup for while using the broad match modifier. Include this at 150. Save. So then the other thing you can do here, and this will make sense when we add the other ones. So this is what you get, is called keyword bleeding. So if this is looking for the best men's work boots, if you remember the last ad group we set up, it's buy men's work boots. And if I don't want this key phrase and this key phrase to bleed into each other, which wouldn't necessarily happen in this exact scenario, but let's say, for instance, this ad group and this ad group's keywords are very, very similar, and I don't want them to bleed, and one is the key intent is the best, and the other is the key user intent is buy. So in this ad group, I could also add another keyword that eliminates it from showing up for buy, and then I would add the rest of my negative keywords. And so there's an example of a long tail, and we'll go ahead and click save here, and now we've got a long tail ad group, and we've got our negative keywords here and our campaign level negative keywords here. So let's go over, we'll go over one more example, two more examples of long tail setups, and that should give you enough hands-on actual viewing experience of setting up short tail and long tail broad match modifier ad groups and campaigns to go ahead and try it with your own campaigns. So let's go back over here, and this one is going to be where to buy men's boots, and this is more general, but it still has several keywords in it. So this one we could actually include where to buy men's boots. So I would even include, if all of my boots are work, then I would say buy men's work boots. And here I would include a requirement for every keyword to be in this one, just because it is a little bit more general and more common for someone to search for where to buy men's work boots as opposed to looking for the best men's work boots. And then our variation we can include would be with the apostrophe in this example. And here you have a long tail setup with broad match modifier. We'll call it 150. We'll save the ad group. Now, here's where you can go back and add another negative keyword to another short tail ad group to ensure that these don't bleed into each other. So buy men's boots in here and buy men's work boots over here. We did require work, the one thing, and wear two in this one, but we could still have some overlap here because of buy men's boots. So in here, I would go back and add a negative keyword for wear. And here you could add that as an exact match in this example. So then we can go back here and ensure that these campaigns or ad groups do not bleed into each other. So let's set up our third and final example. And this one is going to be another long tail key phrase that wouldn't necessarily get a ton of search volume, but we should still have something set up for it. Recommendations on men's work boots. So in this one, they're probably looking for the best quality. So I would put something like top men's work boots, or to get close to the headline here, we could put recommended work boots. And here in the ad description, we could put men's work boots recommended and if we have thousands of customers, we could put recommended by thousands of happy customers. And that addresses the user's search query specifically. So recommended work boots, men's work boots recommended by thousands of happy customers, if that's the case. If you have thousands of customers, or you could put hundreds, or you could put many, or you could put tons, or whatever variation of that you wanted to put in. And then we go down here and add our keyword. So you would add it as recommended men's work boots, recommendations on men's work boots, and then the variations that I would add would include these same two keywords without the apostrophe in men's. And so we would copy and paste these. And then we would just come here and remove the apostrophe from men's. Go recommended men's works boots. And then I would just go through and require the same thing on these. I would just go ahead and require everything here. And you get the picture. So that would be how we would set that up. And I would add those two for the sake of time. I'm not going to go through setting up the modifiers there, but we'll do 150 again, or 160 for the CPC, max CPC. Save the ad group. And same thing here. We've got our campaign level negative keywords. And again, if you wanted to go through and add your negative keywords, and let's say the page I'm going to be sending to here doesn't have any black or brown boots. They're all black. So we could use brown there. And we could include hiking. And we could include, let's say none of these boots are genuine leather, so we can include the keyword leather. And these boots do not have steel toe as well. So this would be our negative keyword list for this particular ad group, and we still have our campaign level negative keywords here. So we'll save that. And here we are. And that's that. So that is a full walkthrough on setting up short tail keywords and where to include the broad match modifier and how to include negative keywords. The one thing we didn't do in this is proper architecture, so I would potentially even create this. We created all of this in the men's vintage boots campaign. I would have created a new campaign called men's work boots, and then we could go through and add all of these ad groups under that specific campaign. But by now you should understand the difference between a short tail keyword, a long tail keyword, and all of the different match types, exact phrase, broad match modifier, and negative keywords. And you should understand the logic behind setting up, selecting short tail or long tail keywords, how to set them up with the broad match modifier, and how to add negative keywords so that your ads don't trigger for inappropriate search queries. I hope that this is a full download of information for you guys, and what I'd like you to do now is take all of the information and apply it to setting up your first campaigns here, and apply it to any campaigns you've already built, and build it out with new campaigns as well. You can employ just the broad match modifier strategy, or you can go back and include what we went over with starting out with exact and then moving up to broad match modifier once you're a little bit more comfortable and aren't concerned about blowing through a budget. Good luck. We'll see you next time.